Happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope that you are doing well. My name is Margaret Burke, but everyone calls me Mo. And I am the Education USA officer here in San Jose, Costa Rica. It is a pleasure to be with all of you today for the third day of our TOEFL Bootcamp. Today, we will be focusing on the speaking section of the TOEFL Bootcamp. And just really briefly, because I know that many of you participated last week, but if anybody is new to our participation, whether it's on Facebook Live or in Zoom, as you all know, Education USA is a program sponsored by the US government, and we offer free educational advising services and up-to-date accurate information on the US higher education system. So we are here to help you apply to US universities and colleges, and we do not charge for our basic advising services. If you want to learn a little bit more about Education USA and hear about our frequently asked questions and our services, which can be divided into 5 steps, I recommend that you go to our Facebook page, Education USA Costa Rica, and click on the first recording for our first day, which was the reading section. We went into in-depth about our Education USA services, so you can find some information there. All 4 of these sessions, reading, listening, speaking, and writing, are being recorded and uploaded to Education USA Costa Rica's Facebook page, so you can go back and watch them again. And I just wanted to remind you that we are actually tracking, we are keeping notes to see which of you are participating all 4 days in all 4 sessions, right? And we will be raffling off a free practice TOEFL test, which is called an ATP from Sorani, thanks to Sorani, tomorrow in our session, once we see what people have participated in all 4 sessions. So hopefully that inspires you to participate tomorrow as well. And now it's my honor to hand the microphone over to Sorani Marin. For those of you who have been here with us the last 2 sessions, you know she's a very dynamic presenter. She is the Associate Director of TOEFL and GRE Client Relations for Costa Rica, Colombia, Honduras, Mexico, Panama, and Cuba. And she's also a Master in Education and Diversity and a psychologist. She's also expecting you guys to participate today. So there will be some sections where Sorani plays an audio or gives you a question, and she's going to ask you, people in the audience, to answer as if it was a real test. So don't be shy. When that happens, you can click raise my hand on Zoom, and we will be choosing people to participate. If you're joining us on Facebook Live and you have questions, go ahead and write the questions in the comments, and I will be collecting questions throughout today's session. So if you have any questions, send them to me. Q&A, Margaret Mo Burke, and Sorani, take it away.
Thank you, Margaret. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Very glad to be here, to be back again. Today we're going to be talking about speaking. As Margaret just said, please get ready to take notes, okay, and participate. Number 1, remember, I need volunteers, okay, volunteers. And this is going to be very fun, extremely fun. And you don't need to be afraid of anything because I'm not scoring you. So we are just practicing. I just want to show you, to experience how it is like, you know, like to prepare a response in 15 seconds and to work on that response in 45 seconds, and then to prepare your response in 30 seconds for the interpreted task, and to respond in 60 seconds. So I just want you to, you know, like to experience the time, okay? I know my camera is kind of dark, I'm sorry. I'm having issues with my computer, but I think this is gonna work. I'm just gonna turn it off if I see like a black spot in there, okay? Okay, let's do it. So this is the presentation. Remember, if you have questions, you can always, you know, take notes, so you don't forget the questions at the end of the presentation. Okay. Speaking. Okay. So last week we covered all the information about, about reading and listening. Okay, reading and listening. We talked about the types of questions for the reading section, and we also talked about the types of the nature of the passages, like the topic of those passages, and where those passages were taken from. We also covered all the types of questions for the listening section. And this is exactly what we're going to do with speaking. So here in the speaking section, you're going to have to respond to 4 different tasks. So 1 independent and 3 integrated tasks. I'm going to give you examples. Okay, here I have the examples. I'm going to give you examples of the independent tasks that you're going to get. Those are familiar topics, you know, like topics that any person could say anything about these topics, okay? For example, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? The best way to travel is in a group led by a tour guide. Do you agree, disagree, and support your answer? How do movies or TV influence people's behavior? Use reasons and specific examples to support your answer, right? Learning about the past has no value for those of us living in the present. Do you agree or disagree? Right. And last one, which would you choose? A high-paying job with long hours that will give you little time with family and friends, or a lower-paying job with shorter hours that will give you more time with family and friends? So as you can see, these are the type of topics that you will find in the speaking section, independent task of the speaking section. So you're going to be given 15 seconds to prepare your answer, and then 45 seconds to respond. That's the independent task. Then 3 integrated tasks. Okay, 2 of them, they have reading. So you're going to have to read. It is not a long passage. No, it is a short paragraph. It is just a paragraph. Generally, it is an announcement or a proposal. So you're gonna be given time. You're gonna be given 50 seconds to go over that proposal or announcement. So you have to read, then you're gonna listen to a conversation where, let's say, 2 people are talking about the same announcement or proposal. You're gonna take notes, okay? You can take notes, remember, from the very beginning of the test till the end of the test. And then they're going to ask you a question where you're gonna have to use information from the paragraph and information from that conversation, from your notes. So that's it. Those are the 2 integrated tasks that you're gonna find in the speaking section. And then 1 is going to have just listening. This one is kind of predictable, okay? So you're gonna listen to a conversation, and then what you're gonna be asked basically is to summarize a problem, a situation is going to be presented there. Possible solutions given, provided by the speakers, and they are going to ask you, which solution do you think is better and why? So that's why I'm saying that this is kind of predictable. And this is also based on, you know, my experience. I have taken TOEFL IBT a couple of times, like 6 times. Again, you can take notes. Of course, you can take notes. In fact, you have to take notes. That's mandatory, as I told you in the first session, when we're talking about the overview of TOEFL IBT. I was, you know, highlighting the importance of note taking. Okay. So as you can see in these 3 integrated tasks, the ones that have reading, in the ones that have reading, your opinion is not necessary. Okay, that's not necessary. You have to stick to the information presented in the paragraph and stick to the notes you took out of the conversation, and that's it. Different from the second integrated task that has listening. Your opinion there is important. So you're gonna be asked, you know, to again, to summarize a problem, provide solutions, share solutions provided in that conversation by the speakers, and then which solution do you think is better? So your opinion is there. So that is an important part of this response. So you're gonna have 17 minutes to work on these 4 tasks. So this is what you're gonna find in there. Something that I find absolutely amazing, I think it is just great, in TOEFL IBT is how they score your exam. Why is it, Sorani? You're exaggerating. No, I'm not. Something the scorers do is to, they value like every single effort that you make when you take the exam, when you take especially the speaking section. So their score is holistic. Let me show you this here. I think, yes, this is the one that I wanted to show you. This is the real rubric. This is the one for speaking, independent speaking task. So as you can see, here you have a first column. It goes from 0 to 4. 4 is the highest score that you can get in the speaking section, okay, for both independent and integrated. Then here you have a description, okay, this is like a general description of each score. And then here we have delivery, language use, and topic development. Listen to this. Delivery goes for pronunciation, intonation, and fluency. Language use goes for vocabulary and grammar. And then topic development goes for coherence, like how you connect ideas, the progression of ideas, okay? So as you can see, they take into account, again, and they value every single effort that you make. This is how they score your exam. And I said at the beginning, I think I said, this is amazing how they do it, because personally, the experience I had with oral exams back at the university or even high school level was that my grade, my final score out of that oral exam, oral interview, was based on grammar, just grammar. Sorani, you got this because here you used past tense instead of present perfect. Here you used a will, and we were working with second conditional. And here this reported speech structure is not correctly used. And here this passive voice, etc. Grammar, grammar, and grammar. So my pronunciation was not important. My intonation was not important. The fact that I was fluent was not important. Yeah, because sometimes, and I'm sure some of you identify with what I'm saying, we can be fluent still. We can, still like having some grammar difficulties, but those grammar mistakes that we may have, sometimes they don't obscure meaning, right? They don't blur meaning. So I can be fluent and still, again, having those, okay, grammar is important, of course. Vocabulary, so my vocabulary was not important. The fact that I understood what the teacher was asking me, that's not important, right? How I connected the ideas. I mean, so this was my experience. Probably your experience was different, but yeah, most of the time in this type of oral examinations, we have been scored based on grammar, only grammar. So this is not how they are going to score you guys in the speaking section of TOEFL IBT. So I wanted to share this with you. Okay, so this is the real, you're gonna find these rubrics, the ones for speaking and for writing, in our website. So if you visit our website, there you're gonna find them. And those are the real rubrics that the scorers use to score your exam. Okay, but additionally, and this is something that you're gonna love, right? This is amazing as well. I mean, I think this is a great resource. So it is not just about the rubrics, because you can go over this information and you can say, okay, so I want to get a 4. So delivery generally will paste. Generally will paste flow, fluid expression, speech is clear, may include minor lapse. Yeah, you can go over every single aspect on, like the general description, delivery, language use, etc. But still, if you don't listen to someone that got 4, a person who scored 3, a person who scored 2 and 1, I think it's going to be like, like very complicated to understand what their expectations are. So it is much better to listen to someone that scored 4. Okay, identify myself with that response. This is like my level of English. Or a different scenario could be, and you're going to see it right now in a minute, you could say that response, I think I can do better. I can do better than that person, and that person scored a 4. So this is not that complicated. Yeah. So that's what I want you to see. So I want you to listen to this task. Let me share my sound. Super. Okay. And let me check this. Okay, so you're gonna listen to the task. This is the task. Some universities require first-year students to live in dormitories on campus. Others allow students to live off campus. Which policy do you think is better for first-year students and why? Include details and examples in your explanation. Okay, in your explanation. So you're gonna, again, you have 15 seconds to prepare your response and then 45 seconds to respond. This is the real time in the official exam. So here we have a level 4 response. Please listen carefully and you're gonna see that this level 4 is not a perfect answer, but still she got 4, okay? Listen.
I think it's better for the first year students to live on campus rather than off campus. Main reason because they are new to the city and it's safer for them to live on campus where there's more security because they don't know much about the city in the first place. Second of all, it helps them to become more familiar with their surroundings where they have to study. It also helps them to meet new people. Living in a dorm encourages friendships with people who you might not seem very comfortable with the first time. And it helps you meet new people. It helps you to interact with your seniors, if any, living in your dorm.
Okay, that's a level 4. You see, like when you experience, the situation of, like having a person who got 4 in TOEFL IBT, in the independent task of TOEFL IBT, speaking task of TOEFL IBT, you have things like a little bit more clear. Okay, you know what they are expecting from you, right? What the scorers are expecting from you. So as I told you before, this response was not perfect. Listen to the feedback. It says, in this response, okay, and listen to the feedback and analyze it. Remember that the way they score the exam is holistic. So look at this, listen to this type of feedback. You're gonna see that it is very complete. They take into account vocabulary, grammar, intonation, pronunciation, and content, everything. Listen, the speaker, in this response, the speaker provides a clear and coherent response. She's able to maintain a steady, fluid pace with little to no hesitation. Her pronunciation is very good. There is minor but noticeable first language influence on stress and intonation patterns, but they do not obscure meaning for the listener. She demonstrates a range of vocabulary and grammar that is appropriate to the task. In general, the response is well developed. The speaker clearly states her opinion and provides several reasons for her point of view. She then explains each reason in varying degrees of detail. There is a clear progression of ideas and an ease of presentation typical of a level 4 response. Okay, so can you see, the completeness of this feedback? Okay, this is a level 3 response. Listen.
I think the better policy is to make students live in the dorm, because the first year student live in the dorm, because I think it's safer first, because most of them come from other town, so they don't really know their environment, so I think it's safer. Moreover, I think they can make friends in the dorm, so they can have a good relationship to know how the universities is going. They know better the environment, especially if they don't have cars.
Okay, so now we see differences here, right? Differences. Listen to the feedback for this person. It says, the speaker has some minor pronunciation problems, but overall his speech is clear and fluid. He makes many systematic errors, grammar errors, such as to make students live in the dorm, and I think it's safe. However, these inaccuracies do not seriously interfere with meaning. So far, this is not that bad, right? Because they are saying all these mistakes don't interfere with meaning. His vocabulary range does seem somewhat limited, resulting in vague or imprecise expression of ideas at times. He clearly states his opinion and provides two reasons. However, this is his 3, okay? This is why he got 3. However, his reasoning lacks detail, and there are some minor problems with coherence as he attempts to develop those reasons. For example, he suggests that it is safer for students to live in the dorm because they don't know the environment. He doesn't explicitly explain the link between safety and lack of familiarity with the campus environment. You see how complete this feedback is, right? Okay, like you read it and you don't have like any question about your score. Okay, now level 2.
The policy of students to live in dormitories on campus is better according to me because it gives them time to know about the city, and it is more easy for them to live in dormitories on campus. They don't face much problems. Moreover, it gives them times to find
Okay. Although the speaker has problems pronouncing some words, most are clear and do not interfere with meaning. However, overall delivery is choppy and at times distracting for the listener. The speaker's limited range and control of grammar and vocabulary often result in vague and unsupported ideas. While she does attempt to support her opinion, she struggles to provide sufficient support for her ideas. And this is a level 1. You're going to see the difference between 1 and 2.
I think the dormitories the students lives in dormitories very close to each other, students, so they familiar to each other, so proceed students' relationship and communication, so very familiar. Cause good job for students.
Okay, you see the difference. At least this candidate, the level 2 candidate, provided like short, like really choppy, but complete sentences, short, limited sentence, but they were sentences. Here, if you noticed, this person just gave us, like words out of context, some of them. Listen to the feedback. Overall, the speaker has an extremely limited range of grammar and vocabulary and struggles to express her ideas. She may be able to string together only a few words and often relies on individual words to convey meaning. As a result, very little coherent content is expressed. While she's able to sustain speech for the full 45 seconds, her delivery is choppy and fragmented with numerous pauses and hesitations. That requires considerable listener effort. Okay, so I wanted to share these benchmarks. This is something that the scorers also use, the rubrics and the benchmarks, to give you like a more objective and well-supported score. So I wanted, also, to share with you this because I think it is a great tool for you to understand a little bit, like what the expectations of the scorers are. Let me see something. Hold on. Okay. Okay. I don't know why. Okay, I got it. I lost the chat box. Okay, so now I'm gonna play the responses of 4 different test takers. They are real test takers. Okay, so in the chat box, I want you to give me like your opinion, like say, Sorani, that's a 2, that's a level 3, that's a level 4, or a level 1. Okay, so that's all I want you to do. Just put a number in the chat box. So this is test taker number, let's see, number 3. Okay, number 3. Listen.
Most of students live live off campus, but like me, is to need to require to live in dormitories. Example, a theologian and like this, especially lives in dormitories on campus. They can each with pray and sing and worship, and relationship is very.
Okay. So it was speaker number 3, level 2, level 1, 1. Okay. Okay. You're very close. You're very close. The ones that are saying level 2, you're very good friends. Okay. That's a level 1. Okay. But this is the good point. I'm going to show you the level 2. Okay, the person who scored 2, so you can clearly see the difference between 1 and 2. Okay, but you were very close, and thank you for the ones who said 1. Okay, so this is the level 2 person here. Listen to the person who got 2. Now,
I think living in dormitories is better for first-year students because in the first year, students may have troubles in doing and studying and living in schools, and they don't have many friends in school. So if they live in dormitory, they could make many friends living in dormitory, and it will be helpful for
okay, you see the difference? That's a level 2. Okay, now let's find out. Here we have test taker 1 and test taker number 2. Let's see. Okay, let's start with this one, number 2.
I think the first year students should live on campus. That is because in the first year of especially the first semester, they will have a heavy load of subjects they have to follow, and that means that they have to be able to be on time in campus. And also the first year of campus life needs them to be familiarized with buildings, with the surroundings, with the environment of the campus itself. So more times in campus will help them to do that. And also, you have to have lots of friends to be able to make yourself at home in the campus. At least this is the home for you for the next 4 years. So it's important to socialize.
Okay, so this is taker 4, 4. Who said 1? Okay, 4, 4. Okay, excellent. That's our level 4. Okay, that's our level 4. Perfect. And now let's see test taker number 1. This is a level 3.
It's better if at the first year the students live in dormitories and on campus, because it's very difficult the kind of adaptation they have to suffer, because it's the first year and their first experience and the place, so they need help to recognize the location. They need time to live all those aspects of the new school, to have more friends, and because the first year is the more difficult because of adaptation, they need to be more closely relations.
All right, now you identified the differences. Okay, that was a level 3. Okay, that was a level 3. Okay, good. So the exercise, I think this kind of exercise is extremely important and beneficial for you guys, because I know many of you, you're planning taking the exam, TOEFL IBT soon. So to have these sample answers, sample responses, I think that helps a lot. Okay, so this is the independent task. Okay, so right after the independent task, you're going to start working on the integrated speaking task. So remember, you're going to find 2 tasks that have reading, okay, and then listening. You can take notes. Okay, you're allowed to take notes. And then you're going to be asked a question where you're going to have to use information from the reading and the conversation. Of course, you can go over your notes. All right. What else? 30 seconds. Here you're gonna have more time to prepare your response and more time to respond. 60 seconds. Okay, so this is the task.
City University's choir is changing its performance schedule next year. Read an article about it in the student newspaper. You will have 50 seconds to read the article. Begin reading now.
Okay, so here, okay, this is where I need you guys, okay? So I'm gonna give you the same time, 50 seconds to go over the passage, okay? Same 50 seconds, but I would like you guys to raise your hand. Can they raise their hand? I think they can. I need a volunteer, okay? I need a volunteer. All of you are gonna be working, opa, super. Aaron, okay? Okay, I have Aaron, that was the first person, and Glenn. Okay, let's do it with 2 people, okay? Aaron and Glenn. Okay, now we have our 2 volunteers. Thank you very much. Okay, so first thing you're gonna read, and I'm gonna give you 50 seconds to go over this, and then you're gonna see what the question is, okay? What you have to do. 50 seconds that start now. Just to read. Okay, 50 seconds. And now Aaron is going first, okay? But you know, Glenn can start taking notes, okay? So he's gonna have like a second opportunity. Okay, this is the task, Aaron.
Now, listen to 2 students discussing the article.
Please take notes.
Jim, you're in the choir, right? What do you think about what they're doing next year? This article.
I really like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, the new director's right that it will motivate us.
How's that?
Well, some of the other schools are really good, so we'll really have to work hard to go up against them.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we don't rehearse more than once a week, but if we know we'd be competing with other schools, we probably rehearse more often and improve our singing a lot.
That's true. The more you practice, the better you get. So, what about what the article said about how this will help the program?
I hope it works. Right now, our program is pretty small, but we have some really talented people, and it would be great to attract even more people.
So, how will this plan help?
Well, if we go to these off-campus events and other people hear us and think we're really good, we might be able to get some new students interested in coming to this university, to be a part of our music program and perform in our choir concerts.
You're right. I hadn't really thought about that.
Okay. Bob, you took notes, and now this is the question.
The man expresses his opinion about the change described in the article. Briefly summarize the change, then state his opinion about the change, and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion.
Okay, Aaron, 3 different tasks. Summarize the change, state his opinion about the change, and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion. As you can see, your opinion here is not necessary. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to prepare your response. 30 seconds start now. Okay. And now, 60 seconds. Are you ready, Aaron? Sí.
Yeah,
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
So
super. Hold on. You're gonna have access to the time. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now.
So I think that the changes for the better because what is stated by the one who changed, by the way, the article stands that it could be better for the university to have more competition within, you know, the cover, for what it is, the cover competition and the tournament. So sorry, teacher, I couldn't develop myself anymore into that topic. Oh shit.
Go ahead, try to. Aaron, don't worry. You're not try again.
Teacher, what I was trying to tell you is that I thought that I had to, read the article instead of. I mean, I thought I had to speak it instead of read it.
Okay.
I didn't have time.
I understand.
I'm a little nervous right now.
No, Aaron, you don't have to be nervous, baby. You don't have to be nervous because I'm not scoring you because we're practicing, okay? And let me tell you that your English is beautiful, okay? That's something that I have to tell you. Okay, so you read the paragraph, right?
No, I couldn't read it. I mean, I thought I had to speak it in the time that you showed it to me.
Okay, I understand. Okay, no, but the idea was to go over this. So I mean, I gave you 50 seconds to go over this paragraph. This is, yes, Aaron, this is what you are going to do, like in the official exam. You're going to be giving 50 seconds, so you read. If you want to take a couple of notes, you can take notes, and then you work, you listen to the conversation, you take notes, and then you're going to be working on the task. Okay, this is what I was asking to you. Probably I was not very clear. I'm sorry. Okay, but I'm sure that with your level of English, okay, I'm sure you will do a great, awesome job. Okay, Aaron?
No, but I right now know what is it about. It's just that I was a little confused the first time. Sorry.
Don't worry. It's okay. Glenn, are you here? Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Okay, Glenn, are you still going to participate? Let me see if Glenn is somewhere or if he escaped. Okay. I think it was Glenn. I think that was his name. I don't remember. Or,
yes.
Okay, hola, how are you?
Hi.
Okay, so you got what you had to do.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, did you read the paragraph?
Yeah, and listen the boys' opinion.
Super. But what I'm gonna do, as you already read this, what I'm gonna do is to play the conversation. I'm gonna play the conversation again for you, so you can organize your notes and prepare your response. Okay. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Listo. Okay, listen and take notes, Glenn. Opa. Okay, here we go.
Jim, you're in the choir, right? What do you think about what they're doing next year? This article.
I really like it.
Yeah?
Yeah. The new director's right that it will motivate us.
How's that?
Well, some of the other schools are really good, so we'll really have to work hard to go up against them.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we don't rehearse more than once a week, but if we know we'd be competing with other schools, we probably rehearse more often and improve our singing a lot.
That's true. The more you practice, the better you get. So, what about what the article said about how this will help the program?
I hope it works. Right now, our program is pretty small, but we have some really talented people, and it would be great to attract even more people.
So, how will this plan help?
Well, if we go to these off-campus events and other people hear us and think we're really good, we might be able to get some new students interested in coming to this university to be a part of our music program and perform in our choir concerts.
You're right. I hadn't really thought about that.
Okay, Glenn, I'm going to give you the same 30 seconds to prepare your response, okay? Now, just to prepare, take notes and organize your ideas. Okay, and now 60 seconds to work on the response. Are you ready?
Okay, yeah.
Hold on. The man expresses, let me see. So you listen to the
The
question.
man expresses his opinion about the change described in the article. Briefly summarize the change, then state his opinion about the change and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion.
Okay, now.
Okay, the director of the choir makes they want to get off of the campus to be more competitive and motivate to the members to improve their ability. The guy really like it, and he thinks that change of the director will reach bigger scope. I mean, a new talent to the core members. And he explained that they can work hard because in the moment they only say once a week, and they want to prove the quality of the core.
Glenn, okay, you did a great job. Okay, number one.
Thank you.
Number one, Glenn, number one. Something I really liked about your response was that you briefly summarized the change. Then you stated his opinion about the change. You were short in explaining the reasons he gives for holding that opinion. That was the only, you know, like the only part that probably the weak part of your response.
Oh.
That's my opinion. I mean,
okay,
but I'm not a TOEFL scorer.
Yeah. It also I have a lack of in the part of the reasons that the boy has why why he is agree, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, yeah. That's very important. That's very important. It is very important to read, you know, what the, you know, to read carefully the questions, see what they are asking me to do, to share. So that's important. But you covered almost everything. Okay.
Oh.
I think it was clear. There were some issues with pronunciation. There were some issues with grammar. But I want to tell you, Len, that I'm sure you're in the process. And you're doing great. You're doing great because it is very simple, very easy to understand what you want to express. Okay, so communication is not broken. There's no like a fracture in there. Okay.
Can you give me a score? I mean, be honest. I don't care. Like
no, I'm not a TOEFL scorer. Sorry, I'm not a TOEFL scorer.
But
I'm just.
I mean, the level. I mean, we saw a level for 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
You want a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4? That's what you want from me.
That's what I want to know.
Okay.
Maybe a 2 or a 3.
Okay, Glenn, I'm gonna do it. I promise. In a minute, at the end of the presentation, promise. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Something else that was very positive, very extremely positive about your response, Glenn, was how you used time. Okay, how you used time. That's extremely important. So that's something that you guys have to do. You have to say, okay, briefly summarize the change, state his opinion about the change, and explain the reasons. And I have 60 seconds, meaning that I'm going to have to use 20 seconds to summarize the change, because you're going to have in the official exam the timer right in there. So you're going to have the chance to control, you know, like the pace, right, in which you're sharing your message. So you're going to say 20 seconds, I'm sorry, no minutes, seconds to summarize the change, 20 seconds to state his opinion about the change, and then to close my response, 20 seconds, explaining the reasons he gives for holding that opinion. This is how you have to practice. What I'm doing with you guys now, with Aaron, with Glenn, is just playing and practicing and becoming like a friend, yes, of the time. Because Glenn and Aaron experienced something today that is really annoying. It's really annoying. And it is when you are, working on a response and you're being timed, because your level of English can be great. But when you have, a timer right there, like 21, 22, yeah, that can definitely impact the quality of the language, okay? So that's something that if you do every day, if you're taking the exam, let's say in 2 or 3 months, every day, practice, record in your cell phone, record your response and then listen to what you said. I'm sure you're going to identify the mistakes that you make and you're going to start working on them. Okay, because sometimes I have had students that like in the written exams, they get 5 being the highest score, okay, here in my country. But then when it comes to the oral exam, they get 3, probably 2.5, which is, like they pretty much fail. Because, those are 2 different processes. So that's why I'm inviting you, okay, to prepare. If you're taking a TOEFL prep course, great. But additionally, don't let like all the responsibility to the place where you are, to the institution where you're taking the TOEFL prep course. Study at home, prepare at home, use a timer, Prompts are there. Sorani, I would like to have someone in front of me to make corrections. Great. If you have that person, absolutely great. But if you don't, okay, record your responses, okay? Okay, that's the integrated task. Here we have some of the key points for this response. The change is that the QUAR at City University will add off-campus competitions next year. The man agrees with the plan. He agrees that performing in competitions will motivate the QUAR to improve because they would rehearse more and therefore get better. And then finally, he agrees that the off-campus events could help the program grow. More people would see the QUAR, and that might interest new students or other people to come to the university. Okay. These are the, the rubrics for the speaking section. And that's it. Okay. That's all I wanted to share with you today about speaking. I wanted you to experience the stress of the time. Okay. Let's see if you have questions.
We have many questions from the audience, and I just wanted to remind everyone that you can send the questions to me. But let's start with some that we have.
Margaret,
so yes.
Glenn said, I felt intimidated.
Oh, it's okay. But thank you, Glenn, for being brave to answer for us. It's a great way to practice with a TOEFL expert like Sorani. So some of the questions we have. The first one is, when I'm doing the speaking response, do we need to talk for the entire 45 seconds? Will I get a lower score if I do not use all 45 seconds?
You get a lower score if you're done, let's say, like after 40, second 40, you're going to be okay. Between 40 and 45, you're going to be perfectly fine. Below that 40, you're going to be in trouble.
Right. So if you answer only 20 seconds of 45 seconds, that will probably affect your score.
Yeah.
Okay. For the speaking activity, do you think it is important to speak faster in order to get a better grade? For example, what do you think the difference between fluency and speed, like how those are important for the scores?
No, that's not important, Margaret. And in fact, that's kind of related with accents, right? Some people, I mean, even in Spanish, we see that some people speak faster than others, and still that's Spanish and that's communication. Happens the same in English and in TOEFL IBT for this speaking section. So that's not a problem.
So I think there's a couple questions as well as for their integrated tasks where you have to read and then listen to the audio. For the integrated speaking task, will they have access to the paragraph while they're talking, or do they need to take notes while they read, because then the paragraph will go away?
That's a very important question. And that's something that I forgot to tell you. Yes, as this is a short paragraph, yes, that paragraph is going to disappear. Okay, you won't have access to that paragraph while working on the response. So my recommendation, yes, and this is my case, my memory is just terrible. Okay, I always, as I'm given 50 seconds, and you experienced those 50 seconds, and you could see that most of you probably you could read the paragraph at least twice. So what I always do, like the 6 times I have taken TOEFL IBT, what I always do with this paragraph is I take notes, okay? But not, I mean, I don't rewrite the whole thing, okay? No, I just take notes. Okay, this is an announcement. Okay, this is the announcement, 2 or 3 words. Okay, these are the advantages of the, okay, these are the disadvantages. Oh, no, disadvantages, we don't have any here. And this is what, yeah. So it is important to take notes. That's my case because my memory is just impossible, okay?
Okay. Someone asked for your email address, so I'm putting it in the chat in case you guys have any questions you want to email Sorani. Another question we have is, I think this is the confusion from the first example. During the speaking section, do we have to read aloud? So you're not reading the first paragraph aloud. The first paragraph has to be read because it has information. Then you listen to the audio, which has other information. And then they'll ask you a question that normally asks you to compare or tell how they're similar. And so you have to answer. And so Sorani is saying you should take notes. You will not have time to write full sentences and read your answer. You will just have time to take short notes. And so you can look down at your notes and use them as a guide as you're speaking. Right, Sorani?
Correct. That's the answer.
Okay. Perfect. Ernesto is asking if they're going to show their faces during the test. I think he might be asking about the masks, but that would depend on each country you're in and the different mask regulations that each country has. The tests and the equipment in the labs work so that if you do have to wear a mask, they will still hear you and record the audio. Okay. But that is something that will depend on each country you're in and the different COVID-19 regulations. Someone is worried about, we have questions about what if they talk too much and they are like talking and then the audio stops and they're in the middle of a sentence. Like, will they be taken points? Will they get points taken off? Or like what happens in those cases if they're not able to perfectly time the 45 seconds?
No, that's the idea, that you guys take a TOEFL prep course, that you prepare at home, that you time yourselves so you can use time wisely. So if you're given 60 seconds to work on 3 different like little tasks, okay, so just be aware of the time and use 20 seconds for this part, 20 for the other, and 20 for the other. In the independent task, remember you're going to be given 45 seconds. Okay, so you're going to say my introduction is going to be given from 1 to 15. From 15 to 30, that's going to be the body of my response. And then from 30 to 45, that's when I'm going to start closing. So that's why you need to prepare, no matter how wonderful your level of English is. Okay, you have to prepare to be, to familiarize a little bit more with the structure of the exam, especially with time, because I have seen many people, Margaret, with a great, wonderful level of English, but they don't know how to manage time, and that impacts negatively their score.
Okay, so we have another question about the different, you mentioned that the scores can receive 1, 2, 3, 4. And someone is curious as to if someone can get a 1.5 or a 2.5, or they're just the 4 categories.
4 categories, that's it.
Okay, and I don't know if this is information open to the public, but how does that scale from 1 to 4 then get translated to the 0 to 30 score?
That would be like a 2-hour conference, Margaret. That's
okay.
Yeah, but well, and that's open to the public. That's open to the public. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share a link with you guys where you're gonna find like it is a like score bulletin, and that's where you're gonna be able to understand all that score scale. Okay. Yeah, but that's open to the public. Absolutely.
Okay, and then we have a question. What should I do with my recipients if I still haven't chosen what university I want to apply to? So I think I can help with that question. When you sign up for the TOEFL will include 4 free score reports. So you can send your score to 4 recipients for free, but you have to register them before you take the test. Okay, so you don't know your score at the moment you do that. If you still have not chosen your universities and you feel confident that you will get the score that the universities on your list are asking for, you could put those universities down to take advantage of the 4 free score reports. And in the end, if you decide to apply to another university, you can still pay $20 to send your TOEFL score to those institutions that are new on your list. Another question we have is if Education USA has any conversation courses in order for you all to improve your listening and speaking. So for the person that answered that or for asked that question, that depends on each country. So this is a regional event. We have people from Costa Rica, Panama, Brazil, India, Africa, right? And so you need to reach out to the Education USA Center in your country. Sometimes different centers do have conversation clubs or speaking clubs or book clubs, which will help you with your reading. So those are the things you need to look up on the Education USA page of your country. But we normally have lots of different activities that will help you practice your English skills. And another question about notes, which I think we can review because it's valid. Are we going to be using any kind of whiteboards to take notes, or what does that look like? So I think that depends on whether it's the home version or in person, right, Sorani?
Correct.
So if you're at the lab, if you're taking it in person, you will be taking notes on a paper. And if you're taking the home version, you have to have a whiteboard that you can show the computer. So yes, so that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Sorani, and thanks to everyone who's been with us. Don't forget to join in tomorrow at the same time for our last day for the writing session. And tomorrow we will be. And tomorrow we will be raffling off the TPO, the practice TOEFL test, to one person among all of the people who have participated in all 4 sessions. Don't worry, you don't need to sign anything. We know who has been participating in all 4 sessions because Zoom gives us a registration list. So we will be doing that tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, and have a great afternoon.
Okay, bye. Thank you.